Say, bruh, it's the podcast.
What's up? It's Hot Boy Troy. We got C.U.D.I.E, and this is the Say Bruh Podcast, episode 16.
Yes, sir.
This episode is presented by THECARDCITY, California's #1 buyer of all unwanted gift cards and merchandise credits. Longtime supporter and sponsor of all things Fash. Visit Card City and slide into their DMs for more information.
Man, shout out Card City, man.
We
didn't even mention that they had 7 locations throughout the 99.
7 locations, 2 in Fresno.
Say it again.
So make sure, if y'all got them gift cards that y'all don't want, visit Card City. They got
Yes,
all
sir.
you need. They'll give you some cash in your pocket.
Shout out Ali, man.
Hey, what up, Ali?
But to get on in this episode, we have a Fresno legend in the house.
Mr. 559. He's the reason why.
Young Effie.
Hey, he's the reason why I wear my Grizzlies.
Hey, man, salute.
This one too, because it goes through
The times.
evolution.
I'm gonna need C.U.D.I.E to add the red on now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, man, we got
Hey, man, happy to be
Young-
here, man. You know,
Young Effie.
this is actually my first podcast, so
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, man.
we appreciate
That's
you
right.
for
Thanks
gracing
for
us.
having me, man.
We got Fashawn out here, Mr. Grizzly City.
I'm just a kid from Fresno, man.
There you go.
But I'm not a kid no more. That's the difference.
A grown man that's been doing some amazing things for Fresno.
Thank you, man. I try my best, man. Just
So we just wanted to touch bases and just give our listeners a little insight on the journey.
for sure.
I mean,
man.
what was the thing? That was one of my questions. What was the thing that inspired the rap
Poetry first.
poetry?
First, man. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up like that.
Yeah.
I was very, I guess, selective with who I would choose to hang with. So my best friend was my notebook. You know
That's
what I'm
what's
saying? And so I just clinged to that at first, and then writing poetry, and then eventually they evolved into raps. And then just being from the generation that I'm from, I was immersed in hip hop. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like the natural progression to become a rap artist for me, you know.
Who was that the artist that you were listening to coming up?
First guy I ever heard was MC Hammer. Not really a good start for me, because I don't really rap like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Were
But
you ready to bust the moves though?
I got busy. I mean, I had a few moves.
I remember
you know?
MC Hammer. We had the
That's where it
he had the
started for me.
cartoon and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had everything on. He was the biggest thing on the planet, so that was like
Yeah.
the first taste of it for me. But the artist that really spoke to me was an artist like Tupac and Ice Cube and
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Public Enemy and stuff like that. So
Speaking of Ice Cube, you about to make a run after this out there, right?
yeah, he actually invited me out. One of his people from his team invited me out to go see him tonight, and yeah, man.
Legend, West Coast legend.
Yeah, so today is a good day.
Today is a good day, and we are recording this on a Friday.
You heard?
So, but yeah, man.
And I did forget my weed. Gotta pray for me, y'all.
Yeah.
Somebody go take care. You already know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And how was how was it evolving from poetry to rap, and then just to making your way into the rap scene in Fresno? I mean, we know that we have some Fresno legends like PA.
Absolutely.
Some would say like Killer Tay, right?
Oh,
And,
they
you know,
better.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
better, man. Can't forget Diego Red. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Diego Red.
Yeah,
we
man.
we spoke on Diego Red a while ago.
Shout out to the
episode
whole
where-
schoolyard massive too.
Yeah. When we had a K Rich out here, I spoke on that. Like Diego Red. Actually, Diego Red was the reason I came across your verse,
Okay.
and this was on the We Taking Over, the SenCal mix.
I think I went second on there. I think.
Was
I
that
think I
like
was
third?
after. Third. That's right.
Might have been or fourth.
Yeah, it was Asia. It was Asia, Diego, then me.
Yeah. And then Shake the Mirror at the end.
Yeah.
Was
And,
that the song that I seen the video? Was that with Heck pulling up in the range or whatever?
Yeah.
Or no, what was it? Drop top or Bentley or something?
It was-
I don't know how they let me walk through my neighborhood after that, cause we shot 2 scenes. I was so young. I was like maybe 16, 17 or something like that, and these dudes brought 2 Rolls Royces to my projects, right in front. First he brought the white one, and then they brought the black one the next day. And boy, I was the man in the hood for. I still am the man in the hood.
Last time I checked, I was the man on these streets.
Last time I checked, man.
Yeah, man. But that was the song, cause I was hella into Diego Red, And just off the homegrown show,
Yeah.
me growing up in Huron, like that's what we were listening to just to hear local music. And
For sure.
and then we that song came out, and I was like, man, who's this guy? It's
Yeah.
Fashawn. And then I just went back, did my homework. And
I didn't
been
even
a fan
have
ever
that
since.
much. I didn't have that much stuff out for you to do homework on yet.
was
I
it?
think I had maybe Grizzly City one.
Because
and
then the second one came out where was it
Phenom.
the
the
Phenom.
Phenom tape, and I think
And then Grizzly City 2, was it like when you're sitting like in the hood of a car,
yeah,
like in
yeah.
a car wash or something?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's,
right on Blackstone.
yeah,
Good. I don't know. I was just excited to be here. Just excited to be the new voice in Fresno rap community, and and honored to be embraced by the OGs like Shake and Diego and Asia, etc.
Yeah, no, I mean you had a good circle around you, right? You had
Absolutely.
Bravo.
Yeah, I had my
Dirty Money,
I had my own cipher.
Graphic.
You know what I mean. Matter of fact, Turban from GCM. Are you familiar with Turban?
Yeah.
Yeah, Turban hit me up when I'm around that time of taking overtime, and he offered me to be a member of GCM.
Oh shit.
And I would have loved to, and I would have done that, but I already had my own coalition. I already had my own thing coming, and I knew it was gonna be something special, and that movement would be something.
And that was Section 8.
Section 8, Grizzly City Boys, the Grizzly Gang, the whole movement. I was like, you know what? I had to respectfully decline that offer, even though Asia did so much for me and stuff like that. But I basically planted the Grizzly City flag from that day forward.
Man, and that inspired a lot of things out here.
For sure.
I mean, just from I feel like people just took more pride in the whole 559, and no disrespect to Asia, but like it was just you had like the Fresno artists, but it wasn't planted like that. Like it wasn't just like the whole like say Graphic. It was like Mr. Soul 559, and like you just started seeing the whole purple and gray out, and everyone just heading out to the team store, the Grizzlies team store, and you started seeing more F slashes around town.
I always wanted to. Growing up, I wasn't proud of my city like that. I wasn't like, oh, I'm from Fresno. So I try to paint a certain picture in my head, like, oh, I'm gonna just call it something different and view it differently, and and show it to the world, like the way I see it through my lens, and so that's what Grizzly City is for me. You know what I mean? And I wanted to make it the coolest city, make it sound like the coolest place on earth.
And
you know what I
it
mean?
did.
Or the craziest place on earth. You could navigate through each one, but
When I think of Grizzly City, there's a few things that pop to my mind: Fresno Grizzlies, Fresno State, Fashawn.
hey man, good.
It's
good.
like
it should be
staple.
It should be synonymous with all those things, because that's what Grizzly City is, just the umbrella that all that falls under. You know what I mean? So
Definitely a blessing for sure.
hey man,
For
Grizzly
sure,
Gang
man.
all day, G's up. You dig?
And now how did the link up with Hectic come about? I'm sure that was DJ Hectic Soprano at the time, right?
Yeah, man. My man Aden. That's how my Armenians say it, Aden.
Aden.
Or the homies Aaron. You know what I mean? But that started with Hectic always been an active member of the hip hop community out here. You know, when he was still DJ Hectic, he was very active, and I'd always see this guy. And one day he threw a Nas concert out here, and I won tickets to that show on KFSR 90.7, I guess. I won tickets on the air, and then when I got there, first person I see is Hectic on stage, and he's basically like emceeing the whole thing. And then I said to myself, whoever that guy is, I need to link with that guy right there. I knew his voice from the radio, and so I'm like, whoever that guy is. And he had Diego Red, who was previously signed to Def Jam. So I'm like, I made it a point to get at him. And then, from that point on, I just started making my way around the city, battles, ciphers, barbershops, whatever. I didn't even have a record out to save my life. But caught the attention of this barber who knew Hectic. His name was Tone, and he knew Hectic, so he called him and was like, yo, I got this kid, you need to check this guy out. And he didn't even know I was already plotting on him, though. I was like, so by the time we linked up, man, the rest is history.
That's what's up. And I heard a few of these stories just being connected with Sam from FTK, and like he like I've always like I've been a student of the game, so even just
I have to say this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this part to be missing from the story. I actually fronted on Hectic the first time we were supposed to meet. I actually fronted on him hard. Like, my man Tone, I call him Uncle Tone. He set up a meeting with me and Hectic. Like, yo, all right, 5 p.m. Tuesday. You don't want to miss this, young homie. I'm like, okay, bet. All right, I'm gonna go check him out. Lo and behold, I'm on the east side of Fresno, chilling in a Halo house, smoking weed, rapping on the mic, just like this, with a sock over it, no popper stopper, nothing. But still not even tripping off Hectic like that. I was just like, I need to be in the studio right now, And then these niggas came and got me. Tone went to my project, went to my building, 3420. Went looking for me.
Like, where's that at?
Where's this nigga Fash at, right? He's missing his meeting, this little nigga, right? So he went there. He couldn't find me, but he could find Vito, who's my brother. And Vito was like, I don't know. I know where to find him. So he hopped in the car with Tone and went to go grab me, take me from the block, and take me straight to Hectic. And then, yeah, man. And then the rest is history. That day, I did 3 songs. Like, first day I met Hectic.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, what you got? I'm like, turn on the mic, play some beats. I did like 3 records right in front of his face. And I was a teenager, you know what I mean? I hopped on a record with Diego Red that day and then did 2 other joints that, like in an hour.
What was the first record that hit that spread out and caught people's attention?
I would have to say the We Taking Over joint. That's what really sparked it. But far as like Fashawn, the brand is by itself. It was a record called Strange Love.
Strange Love.
And,
Yep.
That
From
was
One Shot, One Kill.
Yeah, that was like the first record that that was getting me more attention than I ever expected. You know what I mean? Not from just the hip hop community, but from just fans of any genre of music.
I could say that's my favorite mixtape right there of yours.
Thank you.
And when I have this conversation and people ask, I always bring out a One Shot, One Kill. Yeah. I used to use that slogan when I used to do my photography, like One Shot, One Kill, just off of that.
Dope.
And I felt like just
you was at the the release party for that.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We
Young Cuddy.
Yeah.
Pulling up
with the hat to the back.
He was a young mustache, man. I remember that, man.
And I think all that had a part in it. Just being at that show, seeing you interact with the fans, and that made me become a fan of you as a person, and the music was just.
This was hilarious. I remember that night. I was doing these are all mixtape joints too.
Yeah.
There was like a crowd of girls in the front row, and they just started chanting, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." I'm like, what has my life become? And I'm not even spitting like those kind of lyrics that suggest that I'm trying to, sell that, Or,
we got you.
And, not no pimping shit, not like that. But it was a good time, man. Unforgettable night.
Yeah, for sure.
And I put that project in my like top 5 of my own like.
That was a good
catalog.
One. You had a McBoogie, and you just was sponsored by Orisu. Like
Orisu,
everything was just dope, from the skits to the instrumentals you guys chose.
Yeah, man.
It was.
I found my sound on that project. That's when I felt comfortable in being Fash. That's when I felt the most comfortable. And yeah, man.
No, yeah, for sure. It had
everything. Everything from that after One Shot, One Kill is just like, to me, pieces of One Shot, One Kill. Like Boy Meets World is like a certain piece of One Shot, One Kill. Mana is like a certain style that I had back then. It's like I always draw from that project because it's the most diverse.
I gotta go check that project out.
Projects out.
Man, we need that mixtape on these streaming services.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
I still have it, and I wish I still had the physical copy, but I had it from that day.
For sure, and for sure, man.
That's one that I wish I did have. But yeah, man, One Shot, One Kill, one of the best ones in my book. And after that, you just started seeing a lot, like started seeing you a lot.
Start spazzing. Man.
Yeah.
I
What
just
was that, like
started
09?
spazzing. Nah.
No.
One Shot One Killed. I was like
08,
07,
07, 08.
Probably 08. Yeah.
09 was when
That's
you
when
started.
I got busy. That's when I really got busy.
Started hitting the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Actually, I already went to Europe with Ev, and I was.
How did that come about? And I just seen him on this podcast with Quali, and he talked about how we came across with you and just ended liking you as a person and took you out on the road.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, man, that's big coming from someone like
So you asking like how that came about?
Yeah.
Me and Ev. One Shot One Kill. One Shot One Kill. He was a big fan of that, and he was on that. I believe Our Way was actually on that before Boy Meets World. Before I even thought of putting it on Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
It was on One Shot One Kill. So yeah, he just gravitated.
Yeah, because you guys had the video already, right? Like
yeah,
before,
it was already out. It was already out circulating, and so he was like, "We already got a song together. Let me bring the little homie on tour with me." He probably ain't never seen Europe anyway, and so yeah, he actually showed me the ropes about how to maneuver out there, and not just out there, but just period.
Yeah.
That was my first time going on like radio press tours and stuff like that, and interviews and all that. Just my eyes were the whole thing about being a rapper is more than just writing rhymes and thinking you're dope, you know.
It's a business behind it.
He showed me a whole new other side to it that, you know.
He talked about a
whole
time
lot,
where y'all stayed at like in a
hostel.
Yeah, in a hostel.
Yeah.
He's all like, man, we just but at house you stay humble, right? Like
no, yeah, yeah. He said it like it wasn't even for the reason of like showing me the ropes. Like, yeah, you got to be humble. For Ev, it was just like he wanted a spot where he could smoke comfortably. And you know, of course, you in Amsterdam, you want to smoke comfortably. So. Yeah. Instead of a 5-star hotel or whatever, we got a hostel. It was crazy. And I got the biggest, you remember they spoke about the mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes.
I had the biggest baseball on my face. It was the worst. And I had an interview with this really cute journalist too. We did it out like the next day. And I'm in there with this keloid on my face.
Yikes.
And man, it was a good time though. Good times though. Shout out to my people in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ev. You should have signed me, bro. I know you had tailor-made records, man. Like, I should have been an artist on tailor-made records. I'll let you regret that later.
Yeah. So, working with Evidence, y'all had the projects together and all that, but before that, say 2010, that's when the whole Double XL cover came about, right? And that was, I'm sure that was like a huge opposite, like just. It was up there for you.
For sure. It's definitely a milestone in my career.
Did it also put a lot of pressure on you?
Yeah, because coming from where I'm from and, like, the style I had, it wasn't like people weren't projecting, like, big numbers. Like, when I dropped, they was just like, yeah, we'll see if the kid will still be around by 2010. You know what I mean? I didn't even think I'd still be around by 2010. And then when that happened, they're like, oh, shit, Fresno might have something. We might have one of them. And so yeah, the pressure just was immense. It was immense, man. But I just kept going, man. I think I dropped Old-Tail-Matic that year. Just kept going. Started working on the ecology immediately. And yeah, just hit the ground running after that. It was pressure, but it was the type of pressure that makes diamonds, not the kind of pressure that busts pipes.
Exactly.
You know?
And to me, I mean, that's like the class that had the best artists on it, and a lot of the artists that stayed on track and made a huge impact in our culture and for the new generation.
Yeah, man.
I mean, shoot, just looking at it, I mean, we could say the artists without even looking at it, but I mean, y'all had Cole, Nip, Wiz Khalifa, Gibb, Big Sean, J-Rock.
Yeah, man.
Like, man, the heavy hitters.
There's icons in this group. Yep. You know what I mean?
Literally.
It's not just like, and this guy's with classic music in this stuff. You know what I mean? Like stuff that we'll listen to forever. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And, I'm blessed to be a part of this class, and I love that they call it hustlers, and not artists or rappers. They call it hustlers.
Y'all was out there grinding, hustling.
Each one of these young men built a brand from out the mud. You know what I mean? And I've seen them, and Like I remember when I met Nipsey, man, he gave me his mixtape, like, and to fast forward and to see like how he elevated and
Yeah.
like I got stories on all these guys. Like I seen them all in a not humble beginning, but when they were trying to build their brand and build their name, you know.
So with
that was a good year.
With y'all being on this cover, that's how a few songs with J. Cole come about.
That's how. No, actually, no. That's the dope thing about it. Jermaine, J. Cole, he hit me up on Twitter in like '09. This is like before Boy Meets World even came out. I guess he just heard about me and he was already hip to my music. And this is when he just got signed to Rock Nation. And I was in New York, he was in New York. And we're both out of towners and we're both, you know, purveyors of this hip hop shit. So he heard I was in town and he sent me a DM on Twitter and he was like, "Yo, bro, you gotta come through the studio. I'm up at Rock Nation. We up in, I'm not gonna say the location.
Yeah.
So, you know, made my way over there and we did a relaxation that same night, you know what I mean? And then fast forward, this is our second time, you know, meeting. You know what I mean?
And they don't
and
usually...
he was late to the shit too. He was the last person to come. Like I swear to God, like Kendrick Lamar was there and he almost took his place. Damn. Kendrick came with J-Rock. He was just chilling, you know what I'm saying? And we all waiting on Cole. Like, okay, at this point we don't even know it's Cole because they didn't tell anybody.
They don't let the artists know.
They don't
let
let you know who's.
Damn.
I thought Nicki Minaj was gonna walk in. I thought Drake was gonna walk in. I didn't know who to expect. And then it was him. And I was like, oh, that's my nigga anyway. And
that was dope.
so that's how me and Cole's relationship started. It started before Sideline Story and before Boy Meets World.
Yeah. Man, that's a dope cover. And I still remember copying the.
And I met Nipsey at Evidence's album release party for the Weatherman.
Okay.
Yeah, and he gave me his mixtape. Bullets Ain't Got No Names. Should have kept that. Word.
That mixtape as well. That's top tier.
And Wiz, damn. Like I'm sorry, I got stories.
No, you go ahead.
And Wiz, like I think after this, he took me on tour. You know what I mean? He took me on tour for the Deal or No Deal or Cushion Orange Juice or whatever.
Okay.
After this cover.
Was this around when was Wiz's song that I love, Hypnotized? He's part of the reason. He's part of the reason why I got a challenger right now because he you know, that's how
the yellow.
Yeah, he had that yellow oranges challenge, and I was like, damn.
So that's what started me and Wiz's relationship. Was strictly off this. That's when I first met him. I remember like I was sitting next to the dude, and man, he just had like a pound on him, boy, a pound of weed, and that boy smoked me out, man. I was sitting there in a daze. Like if you read the interview, I ain't say shit. I was just high, like chilling, you know. But yeah, man. Gibbs, my nigga, Rock, my nigga. I seen Rock backstage at Grizzly Fest. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here, right? But I guess he got family out here, and he was with E40, and yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I can go on for days for that.
Nah, man, we appreciate those stories. And I mean, like I said, like me being a fan of it, like I remember copying the magazine, and it was a proud moment. Like we were cheering for you. Like I said, from being at what's Strummers now. Back then it was a Starline.
Yeah.
From being out there at the mixtape release party, to seeing you on a magazine that we grew up on.
Yeah, man.
And then after that, like you said, like just seeing you on tour, and this was like MySpace days, so we would see all that shit. Yeah. I remember having this cover on like on my Tumblr, like just sure. we cheering for him.
Nah, you know what began this whole journey for me is like being a kid, you know, going to like I guess Sam Goody or the Warehouse, wherever music was available then, and grabbing these magazines like the Source and the Double XL, and like first time I saw somebody from Fresno in it, it was Schoolyard, you know. That just kind of just sparked it for me. I'm like, yo, man, maybe someday I can be, even if they give me a little small piece inside the magazine. I never thought I'd be on a fucking cover. You know what I mean? Like ever in my life. But yeah, that's what really sparked that flame for me, man. And
but not just covers, man. Like you walked somebody out. You performed during a boxing match.
I performed that with Yeah, with
With
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny
man.
Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley,
after
right?
I wrote a song called Manny Pacquiao, but I wasn't even in Pacquiao's corner. I was in Timothy Bradley's corner.
First song was Champion.
Champion. Yeah, no, that was an honor, man. Like to go from Strummers to the MGM Grand. You know what I mean?
crazy.
Like it's crazy to perform for 1 million people. Is like it's unbelievable. But yeah, I just got signed to Mass Appeal at the time. I was repping hard, and that was a good time. I met Dave Chappelle that day. I met
We big fans of Dave
50
Chappelle.
Cent backstage, and it was cool, man. I met the nigga who played Batman. He was backstage chilling.
Oh.
It was just a different atmosphere for me, but I felt like I belonged, so it didn't feel foreign to me. Even though it definitely was, because I'm not used to occupying those kind of spaces, you know.
And you mentioned in Mass Appeal, I was gonna try to get into there somehow, asking you about Nas.
Okay.
I'm sure Nas played a huge role in the career, right?
Oh, for
just
sure. I
growing up.
mean, by the time Nas came, I had already had garnered the respect that I wanted from hip hop, from the community. But after he came, it just took it to a whole nother level. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I don't know. It's like, imagine like Mark Twain or like Walt Whitman talking about another writer
Yeah.
that's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Imagine
remember.
like somebody of that caliber, you know, of
Yeah.
skill, to talk about another young guy's skill. You know what I'm saying? It's
Sure.
like that's what really was big for me.
And
you know
that's
what I mean?
what
Shout out to Nas, man.
Yeah, man. It's a
Took
like-
the respect to a whole nother level.
yeah, and then, like I like when I talk about you, talk to friends that are not so in the know of hip hop, like, man, like this is Nas. Like Nas signed Fashawn as one of the first few artists, if not the first, when he had just got the label of Mass Appeal, right? And
I might have been the first. I'm not sure.
I want to say it was, if not the first, it was,
I think I was the first solo artist.
Yeah.
Because it was me, and then I think Run the Jewels actually dropped before the Ecology, because
Gotcha.
they already had their thing together by the
Yeah.
time they got to the label. I was actually still working on the album. Like after I was signed, I was still working on it. So yeah, it was Run the
Man.
Jewels first release, but I think I might be the first artist.
yeah. And I mean, just to be signed to a legend like that, like a legend like Nas, like that's huge. To
For sure.
handpick a kid from Fresno, like that
This
gave a
is-
lot of people motivation right there.
You don't think you could pick a flower out of the gardens like this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't think you could do that in a town like this? But when someone of Nas's, you know, caliber, when he says it, man, like, nah, this is like, you guys got an amazing garden over there. Like, we should be this a lot of stuff growing over there. Like, it's gonna make the whole community stand up and acknowledge that.
Hell yeah! And I remember seeing the documentary that y'all put together, and it's
I was too early. I should have did that, man. Yeah, man. Like,
no, but
you-
it was. I feel like us, like as fans, and it was always, and I'm sure you've seen it. I mean, you're on stage looking down and seeing the supporters and the fans that are out there, and like me showing up to the shows or to whether it was at Starline or the Tower Theater, and all these events. It was always the same circle. So
For sure.
like when we watched that documentary, like I remember when you guys had the viewing, I remember like everyone, just the same people were there, and it's just like it was a win for us. Like
Yeah.
hell yeah, like
I'm still of the community. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I'm of the community. So like the people who are around me, the people who even gravitate towards my music, is like they're not only going to hear a story, but they're a part of the story. You
Yes,
know what
sir.
I mean? Like I went back to my MySpace page and saw a picture of me and this guy from like, and we both look like babies, man. You know what I mean? And like, but just to be able to be here a decade later and to be able to grow with my fans, that they become family to me. Like
Yeah,
they're,
man,
they're
and-
my extended family, and like
and
that's
it's like,
that's what you get when you go to a Fashawn concert. It's like a high school reunion of
For sure.
friends,
No,
or,
and-
or a
and-
family cookout.
and
more
then
so,
like
you know?
like say like myself, like I made friends with people I've met at these shows,
Mhm.
and now it's like we have each other on Instagram and whatnot, and it's just like
Absolutely.
these are people that it built that whole Grizzly City
Yeah,
community.
that's that community, man.
And that's
yeah.
I mean, not sure we want to bounce back from there, but like, so this Friday we're going to celebrate your birthday, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm expecting there, like to see all these same faces out there. And,
We'll see, man. Let's see if they're ready to color with the kid. Y'all done smoked with me. Y'all done partied with me. Y'all done did Y'all done fed the homeless with me.
Yeah.
Y'all done did so much with me. If y'all can come out and color with the kid, that'd be cool. And a big reason I was so hype about doing this because I was like, I'm about to be 31. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm blessed to say that. Matter of fact,
you young, man. 30s is young.
Tell me about it. But I still don't. I feel like it's important to always hold on to your inner child and to be childlike in some shape or form or fashion.
Hey, what Kanye said? I still don't grow up. I'm a grown ass kid.
Man, he said something else. He was like, they trying to take my inner child. I'm fighting for custody. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, And so that's why I'm like, this time let's just have fun, man. Bring your kids this time too, man.
So for the listeners, Friday, October 18th, we'll be out at Bitwise 41 from 5:59 p.m. to 10 o'clock. And
it's an all-age event.
All age. Bring the kids. I mean, if you're into coloring pencils, markers, whatever, bring your items and come out and hang out with us.
What are we gonna be coloring exactly?
So, I wanted to start this thing to where eventually my goal is to create a coloring book.
For sure.
So leading on to that, I want to have these events where I sketch out different artists, and on their birthdays, I want to just hang out and color these pages.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, why not start it off with the man?
Hey.
You know what I mean? And
honored, man.
For sure. And so I reached out to you, like, give us a blessing.
And what this was like close to a month ago or something, like maybe a little bit more than that.
It's like in August or so. Like, it just came to mind. I'm like, man, you know what? Like, I gotta just start this already.
Man.
You know what I mean? We did it for the Nipsey event, but it was more of an art show.
But it went off super well.
And it went wild. It was cool to have people there coloring and whatnot. So like, you know what? I want to start this, and I'm gonna hit up Fashawn. I know his birthday's coming up, and so I did a few sketches, and we're gonna print out these coloring pages and just have them laying out on tables. People come out and just enjoy the day with us and
celebrate your life.
Hey, man,
for sure, man.
Celebrate.
And that was the thing. Like I told you, like I feel like sometimes we wait a little too late to honor people.
For sure.
Give them their flowers while they can still smile them. You know what I mean? And I'm big on that. Like I ain't afraid to give someone props or show them love. So
that's love.
This is just something I wanted to do with y'all, and
appreciate it more than you know, man. I don't usually get celebrated. I get tolerated most of the time. So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, this will be a time that you can just enjoy it, and you don't have to be behind the mic or entertaining people. Like,
well, if there's a mic there, chances are, because you already know how I get down. So.
All right, so we'll make sure there's a mic.
Of course. we go bring a good mic to make sure they hear you solid.
Oh man.
Some things that I was curious about is, I just wanted to let you know, man, one of my favorite albums that you have is The Ecology.
Thank you.
Let me just,
man. That's my personal favorite. Out of all the stuff I did, that's like, I put that at the top.
A lot of
even over
those
Boy
songs,
Meets World, you know.
A lot of those songs are just, they resonate with the people. Yeah. One thing that we talk about on this podcast alone is inspiring and motivating. That's one thing that we're trying to do.
For sure.
We talked about, how Nipsey motivated us with, his last album. But that song that you have, Something to Believe in.
Yeah.
God damn.
Sometimes, I think it was when the Fulton Street first opened. And I just was playing that song. When those keys hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Like the horns just, it gets you juice.
Absolutely.
And then you come on that song's like just, like you dropped your nuts on that one. and I think it was because obviously you had who you had on that.
Look who I was in the company of.
Yeah. So you came hard on that one.
I had to. I mean, I'm on the record with gods. You know what I'm saying? Like DJ Khalil on the production. Aloe Black, one of the most phenomenal voices of our time.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, how did that come about?
Aloe's
sending the record.
Aloe's my guy. Aloe's my bro. We from the same crew called Dirty Science.
Okay.
Dirty Science. It's a LA based crew. They put me down in 2009 when I got with Exile and did the album. Exile's like the Abbott of the crew. He's like the RZA of the whole shit, right? And so once Exile embraced me, Aloe followed suit, and we built our relationship. And then by the time I got with Nas and I called Aloe, he was shooting the James Brown movie, and I called him and I was like, "Yo, why did you pick up your phone? You should be filming your scene, you motherfucker." But he picked it up. I'm like, "Yo, I need you for the album." He was like, he basically sent me like 5 songs.
Okay.
Like 20 minutes later, he was like, "All right, man, I gotta go knock out these scenes. Check your email." Check my email, and he had these like ideas, like hooks and like certain ideas, and I heard that and was like, "That's the one. That's the one for
Great
me.
choice,
Nas.
man.
That's the one." You know what I mean? And it's been one of my most successful records, man.
And I could be wrong, but you had a few songs that made it to
That song, Madden.
that made it to
was on
Madden,
Madden.
or I knew it was Madden or
WWE.
NBA.
I went crazy on the video games.
Yeah,
man.
I was
did.
telling-
You had a out the trunk too, right?
Yeah, I was telling Cuddy
Bust the
earlier. I
bust,
was like,
you know?
when I first heard their songs, I was like, dude, that's Fash. He's
Yeah,
on a
man.
video game. Like, how did that even come about?
I don't know. I think somebody
Just
up
reached out to-
at EA Sports really loves my shit. You know what I mean?
Shout out to EA
and,
Sports.
They really love my music. So yeah, shout out to EA Sports. We are in the game.
Yeah,
We are in the game.
We are in the
that's
game.
their thing.
Yeah,
EA
we
Sports,
slogan.
we're in the game.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, and then once they took the first song, it was just like, "You got any more?" I'm like, "I got tons more."
Right.
You know, and then they started picking certain vibes to match with other vibes. But yeah, shout out to EA Sports.
Yeah, man, that was a great song. Another song that just caught my attention on that album. Golden State of
Yeah,
Mind.
man.
Just be cruising.
Dom Kennedy.
Hey,
I always wanted to have like it's a quintessential like West Coast classic type of, give you that old that California love nostalgia. You know what
Nah,
I mean?
it certainly did, and then you touched all bases. I feel like from for the Mexican side to all the way to Mac Dre, like you just covered all bases on that, and even in Dom's verse, you know what I mean, like he said like with the corn for the tortillas and all,
Yeah.
like it's just
the little things
like,
that catch your attention.
all that is just it plays a huge part into the just painting the picture and while you're listening to it.
The crazy thing about that song is I can perform that song anywhere on the planet. You know what I mean? And it bangs. Like I remember I did that song out in Warsaw, Poland, right? I think that's where they shot like The Pianist, the movie with Adrian Brody. Anyway, so I'm out there in Poland. I'm like the only nigga in the country, like literally, right?
Hey,
How'd
that feel?
I dropped the mic and then I said like young Hefe, half black, and then I let the crowd say it. And I did that in Poland, and they had me. It was like you would have swore there was a crowd full of Mexicans, man.
That's crazy.
But how did that feel being
Yeah.
the only black person there? Very scary, very scary. I mean, but I can honestly say this: it's scarier being a black person in America than it is being in Poland.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
No question.
Nah, but the ecology, one of my favorite songs, like Guess Who's Back.
Oh, man.
And I mean, just I was showing Jazz and Troy the video, just the video alone. I don't know, like I said, just I lived through the album. Like that was the soundtrack to what I was going through at the time. So I can still remember living off Ashland and West, and that was like when I started my internship with the Fresno Grizzlies. And
Yeah.
so just a video capturing you guys. I'm not sure what you guys were on top of something, but you guys are driving down to Larry or and
Flying through the city, man.
and just the footage you guys caught, and then the last verse being at the stadium, it was just, I don't know, it just hits a little different. Like that's
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's the soundtrack.
that
right
video
there.
was just really showing my progression as like just from the streets to like to brushing shoulders with, I guess, from the streets to being stadium status.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Because
Exactly.
at that point, I was in a different space. You know,
Yeah.
Not just as an MC, but as a personality out here, as a brand. I was in a
Yeah.
different place where I was able to be like one person standing in the middle of a stadium and then still like, I guess, occupy the whole shit. Like
Yeah.
just me standing in the middle was like, it's like I was hugging the whole stadium. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I couldn't have done that back in 07, 06 because it was like I would have looked like just a blade of grass.
Nah, man, but just even the way you started the track, what's the words? I might misquote them, but it was
Starve
I give-
myself like, sorry about that. Starve
Yes,
myself
so
like Gandhi.
on behalf of my art.
Yeah.
I give you my all.
Never half of my heart. Breathe
Yeah.
for you. Yep.
I remember tweeting that, like, dude, like, I feel this. Like, artists sacrifice themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's times
Somebody-
that we don't want to just give in and clock in to work or whatever. Like, nah, I'm gonna sacrifice this because I believe in my art, and that's something that I lived through. So hearing that is like that.
I was
shit
starving
hit.
when I wrote that too. I was like,
I feel you.
that's what inspired the line, because it was like, they're like, Fast, you want lunch? You want to take a lunch break? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
Nah,
You know?
yeah, man.
I'm
Like I said,
like I wanted to work through the hunger. Like,
This was me starting my internship, and I had wrecked my car, so I was just out here grinding. So I would ride the bus from my apartment all the way to the stadium, and like that was on my headphones, and
yes, sir.
that shit.
Hope it gave you the fuel that you needed, man.
sure did.
To proceed.
Look at you
know?
now.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
we here.
It
Now we
did.
here.
Yeah, you heard. So it
No,
did.
like I said, man, like no, you play a huge part in my grind and just the music itself.
Man.
It's huge motivation.
I appreciate that more than you know, man. That's all I'm trying to do, man, is just leave something behind that's like that can echo throughout infinity. You know what I mean? That can like inspire people whenever they pick it up. If you hear the ecology 10 years from now for the first time, I want those people to walk away with the same
Same
thing.
feeling.
You know what I mean? And yeah, man, because only the songs survive. Only the songs survive. Not the strong, but only the songs survive.
That's right.
Everything else, yeah, it's for the birds.
So I'm curious. What's next for Fash, man? You've been doing amazing, obviously.
What's next for Fash? I know what's literally up next for me is I'm about to do my first lecture at a college.
Ooh.
And I'm very nervous, because I've never done a lecture. I've spoken at schools and stuff like that, but never as like a real keynote speaker when I can just have the floor like that. But so yeah, this is gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be in the state capital as well, Sacramento.
Wow.
So yeah, that, and then I got 1 or 2 more shows left for 2019, and then hopefully I can get this new album to you guys in January. You know what I mean? I've been working on it tirelessly for some time now, and yeah, I'm just waiting on the label to put that thing out. You know,
And waiting on that heat.
yeah, man.
Sure.
So producing music for other artists. I'm not gonna name them yet, but
So wait, you're producing. You're out.
yeah,
making
I'm
beats now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started producing like maybe right after Manna came. I think the first time I got to really put my hands on something was the song "Proud" on Manna.
Yeah.
I got some production credits on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been doing that heavy, man. Probably got just as many beats as I do bars these days. You know?
That's dope, man.
But yeah, so I'm still maneuvering. I'll be creeping and infiltrating the music stuff, but not being the front man so much. Open up a studio for other artists to come through, and so I can give them the same opportunities that I had.
Just giving back.
Yeah, I'm in that phase now. It's like you go from a boy into we're boys at first, and then we become men, and then after that, once we establish ourselves as men, it's our job to become mentors. And I'm in that
Talk
phase.
that talk, Fash.
I'm in that
That's
phase
real.
of my career. I'm not
That's
like
real.
I'm not in it for the clout or for the looks or none of that. I'm just now I'm in a place where I could give back. So, that's what's next for me, man.
That's
It's
what
just
it is, man. Like
evolving into something else, man.
whatever it is because you have to get yourself in position before you even try to help anyone else.
Yeah, I mean,
Now
if
that
you
you
helpless,
are.
how you gonna help? You can't help nobody if you helpless.
I feel you.
But yeah, man. Other than that, still slinging dope on these streets.
I'm gonna be like,
Still
That legal
still
dope.
slinging
Yeah.
tacos. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to stay out of jail, bro. Stay out
Yeah,
of
man.
prison and stay out of the cemetery.
So let's Troy, you want to let the people know again what we gonna be doing?
yeah. So we have Sabre Podcast presents Between the Lines. This is with special guest Fash. It's his birthday. Make
Bang,
sure
bang.
y'all come out, support. It's Friday, October 18th.
And this is sponsored by people, Card City. Shout out Card City, man. They taking care of us, like you said. Like they've been a strong supporter of Fash
Since day one.
and ourselves.
one,
Like
man.
you said, like from supporting sponsoring one of my first art shows to now it's an event with ourselves and Fash. And Card City's out here representing. Thank y'all, man.
So anytime you got gift cards and you
Ali,
want
what up?
cash, bring that to Card City. I'm telling you, they got you, and you don't even have to worry about anything. You'll get cash if you don't want to use them gift cards.
True story.
Friday, October 18th, bring the kids. It's an all-age event. We go get our color on. We go celebrate this man's life.
For sure.
We going live and in color.
So, live in the color. So one thing we do at the end of every episode is we do a quote of the day. We wanted to do a little different this time.
Yes.
Since we do have an artist here. Like, you have a quote from a artist, a lyric
From somebody else?
Yes, that resonates with you.
Oh, yeah.
From someone else.
I was reading this book by Khalil Gibran the other day. It's called Mirrors of the Soul, and he had one question in there. It was a question. He said, yeah, and all the people watching this, you can tweet it to me. And the hashtag, like,
Say Bro
Say Bro
Podcast.
Hashtag that, okay? It was a question that said, if God took all your words away and only gave you 7 back that you could use for the rest of your life, what would they be? I just want to leave you with that, and you can hit me with the answers. I don't know if I should tell y'all because I still haven't figured out my 7 words. I got a very extended vocabulary, so it's like
You gotta put some
7.
thought
Yeah,
into
I got to
that.
put a lot of thought into that, and so yeah, man.
I like that.
I love it.
Yeah,
So we're going to leave y'all with that, man. And once again,
7 words, man. You only got 7 left, so tweet
think
'em.
of that.
Yeah, hit them.
Once again,
Hashtag
thank you, man. We appreciate you.
all love.
You out here.
Thanks for having
Always.
the kid. Thanks for having the kid. Pastor Troy, you already know what it
Appreciate
is.
you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
This is the Say Bro Podcast, powered by Card City. Have a good day.
Boom.
Thanks for listening to episode 16, presented by Card City, California's #1 buyer of all unwanted gift cards and merchandise credits. With 7 locations in California, 2 in Fresno, 1 in Bakersfield, 1 in Modesto, 1 in Stockton, and 2 in Sacramento. Visit The Card City on Instagram now.